Question? Yep.
How's it going, Cason? Just how is it getting back on the field? I mean, obviously you won a starting spot last year, and then the injury happened. Any ill effects from that? Just how are you working out there right now?
So I'm back fully now. I feel 100%, and I'm working really hard on the field with my guys. And I think training camp's helping a lot, get me back to full speed, just with mental work and stuff like that. Just getting back out on the field, getting back caught up with the speed of the game, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job getting myself back up to full speed.
What was the scrimmage like for you the first time in a while you've played 11 on 11 action? Did you feel any jitters, anything like that? And I guess what was your overall assessment of the offensive line's performance?
I thought we came out and we looked very comfortable on the field, and I thought it was good that we meshed together really well on the field. I thought the run game was really explosive, and I thought we did good in the pass game as well. And I thought that there was not a lot of skill drop off between the groups when we went out, like we rotated groups and stuff. I thought everybody played well together, and I was really impressed with how we did overall.
Cason, not asking for names, but do you guys have a pretty steady starting five for the OL?
Yeah, we rotate a lot. I mean, that's kind of Lonnie's philosophy is we want to get a lot of guys in. We want to get a lot of younger guys experience, like Josiah, Cam, guys like that. We want them to get a lot of reps. We also want to get the older guys reps as well. But, I mean, yeah, we rotate a lot. It's not a – I mean, as they say, we don't have a definitive starting five yet. We're still working in camp. We got like A group, B group, C group. Guys rotate from B to C, A to B, stuff like that. So it's not a set five yet.
And for you personally, have you solely been working at right tackle, or have they moved you around a little bit?
So I've been getting sole reps at right tackle. I've been getting a lot of reps at right tackle, and I've been working a little bit at left tackle, like on my own time, just to make sure that if they need me to move over there, I can. But in practice and in scrimmages, I've only been at right tackle.
How frustrating was it for you last year to, if you play 4 or 5 plays and then you have to sit for a while and try to come back and have to sit again? Was it frustrating just being in your position?
Yeah, it was. So I had to rely a lot on my faith during that time, and the people around me obviously lifted me up from that time. But yes, incredibly frustrating because I worked really hard to get to that moment, but I knew I would overcome it, and it was only a matter of time. So it didn't get me down permanently. I was down for a few days after that, but things move on, and you get back stronger from it.
Okay, so not to keep harping on it, but did you know right away when it happened that something was seriously wrong?
Yeah, so, I tell people all the time, I knew when it happened, like, I literally looked at the ref, I was like, I'm done, dude. Like, like, I knew it. I was like, there's no way that this has happened. Like, I kind of looked at the sky, and I was like, why me, But, there's a plan for everything, and I had to kind of look at it from a different way in the next couple of days after that incident, and I flipped my viewpoint around and said, this is a learning experience. Now I can learn to become a better teammate, like watching my guys play. I can support people through that way, not necessarily in a starting role now, but as an injured guy, kind of helping people off the field, helping my other injured teammates get back to their full potential and stuff like that. So I found another role on the team during that time, and I think it made me a better person and a better teammate overall.
You mentioned the young guys earlier. What are some things that stood out to you about Josiah Thompson?
Josiah plays really, really hard, and I'm impressed with him as a young guy. His conditioning's really good, and his willingness to learn and to listen to the older guys has really impressed me as well. Sometimes we have high-rated guys that come in here. I haven't had really example of this, but I know stories from other schools. Guys think they know everything. Guys think they're going to play right away, going to start, do all this. Like, they don't want to listen to the older guys. Josiah's not one of those guys. He takes coaching. He's a sponge. He's a great kid, and I think he's fit really well into our O-line room. He's really impressed me.
Hey, Cason, you've been around these O-linemen and over the years. What do you feel like so far, if you can pinpoint anything, would be like the number one difference you've noticed from years past with this year?
I would say eagerness as a full group, because sometimes, like, when I came my freshman year, we had guys that were kind of reluctant to, like, they were like, I'm not going to play. Like, I don't really want to learn all this. Like, I don't want to give my all in meetings. We have however many guys we have in the room, everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to learn. Everybody wants to succeed. We're all one unit, and I think we're meshed way better than we have been in the past couple of years, and you see it come on the field. We run the ball a lot better because our combos are better. We play better together, and I think it's helped us a lot to mesh together and have better interpersonal relationships than we have in the past.
Robbie was just in here saying it feels like this team built a little bit of an identity on offense in the scrimmage. In your mind, what is this team's offensive identity?
I think that we are going to be more of like a ground pound run the ball team. I think that's why we brought in a lot of really good transfers like Torricelli, Kamar, guys like that, that are really going to help us in that run game. And I think that we're going to be a ground pound team. We're going to be a physical offensive line, big physical offensive line. I think that's what y'all want to see, and I think that's what our fans want to see. And I think that's really going to help us with the pass game as well, because if we can get defenses on their toes with the run game, then the pass game's that much easier.
You spoke earlier about the whole O-line really meshing and playing well together. Can you just describe how much you guys all stayed here during the months of May and throughout the summer? Can you just describe what that was kind of like and how much that really set the foundation for what this group looks like now?
Yeah, of course. So when I first initially heard that we were going to stay here during May, I was like, dang, that's my break. You know, I wanted to go home. But I thought that was a really great opportunity for us, and that we spent a lot of time together when nobody else was here but us. We had worked with Coach Day personally, Coach Chip personally. All of the strength staff were great during that month. We would come in, we would get work, we would get O-line work with Coach Teasley and our GAs, Roger and Rudd. And it was just a great time overall that, you know, we're doing something that nobody else is doing. Everybody's on break, and it made us feel like a sense of importance, like this is important, this is going to help us. And the strength staff really communicated that to us, like this is really, really going to help you guys. And I thought it was a great time for us, and I thought it was really necessary.
So was that just about getting bigger and stronger, or was it more of just the mental side of the game that made sure that every guy, the newcomer, the freshman, were caught up on the playbook?
So actually what the point of it was, what I thought was really cool, was they looked at all of the plays from last year that people got hurt on or people could have gotten hurt on, and they said, what can we do in the weight room to prevent this? So then we worked on balance, foot and ankle stuff, knee stuff, like during that entire month. So we helped mitigate injuries, and I think it's really shown up because we haven't had, like, knock on wood, we haven't had any serious injuries during fall camp. And that was not the case last year. Like, we had a ton of guys in RTP last year, and we haven't really had any of that this year. So I think the strength staff really hit the nail on the head with that one, where, you know, we kind of got that taken care of.
How did the idea of it come up, though, with, like, deciding to stay here during the summer? Like, did someone, like, initiate the whole thing, the idea of it, or how did it kind of start to form?
I think it was conversations between Lonnie and Coach Day. But Coach Day literally just told us one day, he was like, hey, y'all are staying here. And we were like, what? And he was like, yeah, we're going to get work. And I was like, okay. And the older guys took hold of it, and everybody stayed, and everybody got work, and that was it.
You mentioned working at left tackle by yourself. How exactly does that work when you don't have four guys? Is that just studying like the playbook inverted? Is that left tackle stance stuff? How do you kind of do that without other offensive linemen?
So stance, starts, sets, hand placement, foot placement, all that stuff, like I can do on my own. So I just play the game in my head. I'm saying, okay, so I have a combo with my, left guard. What are my steps here? I got to kind of flip it in my mind from right tackle. And if you know the offense well enough, you know everybody's like role on the O-line. So it's not very hard to kind of just flip it in your head.